Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you are popping by from Lawrence or Tara's channel, I am so glad to have you. I hope you guys enjoy these recipes. I am so pumped about this collab. So Lauren and I did this back in the fall. Each of us did 5 of our favorite crock-pot meals for fall. We are bringing it back better than ever. We are doing 5 of our favorite winter crock-pot meals, but because there's 3 of us, that is 15 meals, you guys. All of our recipes are so awesome. They are WW friendly, but they are also budget friendly, which I love to point out because nothing makes me happier than being able to do 1 meal. I'm in a household of 2 if you're new here. And Tyler and I can eat it for almost a whole week, and I absolutely love that. So I hope you guys enjoy this. The 5 meals that I have planned for y'all, I have a potato soup. If you follow me on Instagram, you know I just got my wisdom teeth taken out. It was not the time of my life, but I made a potato soup for that. It was amazing. Tyler, who was a normal person and has all of his teeth, still loved it, so you don't have to be a wisdom teeth patient to enjoy it, so I highly recommend that. We did a pork tenderloin. That is amazing, highly recommend. We did a Frito pie. That one was probably Tyler's favorite, which kind of surprised me, but it was so good. It was so easy, and I made it for dinner, but I had it for lunches throughout the week, and I love being able to stretch meals like that. And the next one that I made was a butternut squash soup. Holy cow, this was hands down my favorite meal. So I hope you guys enjoy that recipe as well. And the last one that I made is a Carolina barbecue chicken sandwich situation. That was insane. It was so delicious. All of the points will be listed down below. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. This is probably one of my favorites to make. So I hope you guys enjoy. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and enjoy. Okay, so this recipe is going to be a super easy crock pot potato soup. These are all the ingredients that I'm going to need. It is a 32-ounce bag of hash browns. You can use the brand of your choice. You are also going to need some cream cheese. Typically, I get the fat-free cream cheese. Walmart grocery pickup order, I picked fat-free. I got 1/3 less fat, so whatever, we're gonna make it work. Then you're gonna need a little bit of minced garlic, always, some chicken broth, and 1 chopped onion. You can use whatever kind of onion you want. For this one, I do like to use white, which this is probably like the only time I ever use, a yellow, not white onion. A yellow onion. I like the flavor in this a little better than the red, so I don't know, just food for thought. And then your seasonings of your choice. So it's super simple. We're just gonna dump everything in. If you follow me on Instagram, you know, well, you knew a couple weeks ago when you're seeing this, real time for me right now, I got my wisdom teeth out. As I'm filming, I'm like 2 days out, and I still can't really eat anything like solid. So I'm gonna make this potato soup for the next couple of days for lunches. You're gonna add in your whole stick or whatever of cream cheese, all of your onion, and a squeeze of minced garlic. This is obviously a lot to taste. Most recipes that I have looked up call for the whole thing of your chicken broth. This is the one I like to use. It's just the brand that I really like. I don't know how I feel about the whole thing. Maybe, I don't know. I like my potato soup to be like chunky and not super soupy, but I mean, this isn't even kind of covering the potatoes, so I think the whole thing will probably be accurate. Man, come on. And then we're gonna move this over to the crock pot. It is that simple. Okay, we have it all mixed up. We've got our crock pot on low. We're just gonna let it hang out for like probably 4 hours. I mentioned that this is something that I'm cooking for lunches this week, but this is also a really awesome dish to just have in your freezer for those quick and easy nights, or just nights that you wanna be lazy and have something cozy. This is an awesome freezer meal as well. This soup is delish. I think it's just about done. It did take about 4.5 hours on low. You could obviously do it on high much quicker, but I just kind of wanted it to go low and slow. I have made some adjustments since I filmed. So I've never made this soup in the crock pot before. I've only ever made it on the stove. And on the stove, the recipes that I have somewhat followed in the past have always called for instant potatoes to be mixed in. I am so sorry I did not film what the consistency looked like without that. It was just a little too soupy and a little too runny for me, so I did go ahead and cook these to the directions. They're super easy. You boil some water, you throw these in, you mix it up, and you have mashed potatoes. So I did that, and then I threw that in there, and it did thicken it up a bit. But as far as seasonings go, I added in 3 bouillon cubes, which I don't cook with those very often. They're kind of sketchy, but I did add them in for some flavor. But I also, I'm aware this like does not help you if you don't live in West Texas. But I added in this. I picked it up at the farmer's market, but it has like red pepper flakes in it, minced garlic, I think. Some salt, some pepper. I'm not really sure what all's in here, but it's a salsa mix. I'm sure you could make this if you know what things are. Maybe some parsley. I don't know. I'm not even going to try. But it smells delicious, so I threw that in there with it. I like it to have a little bit of spice, and it's not too spicy. At least not for me, and hopefully not for Tyler, because he's eating this for dinner tomorrow night. But I just wanted to kind of let y'all know exactly what I did. But the exact recipe that I ended up really following, I will put all of that down below. So, of course, adding in those potatoes is going to change the points a little bit, but honestly, it's worth it because this looks much better than it did without those potatoes. So, it will all be linked down below. Hey guys, this next recipe is going to be a super easy crock pot pork tenderloin. You just need pork tenderloin flavored of your choice, some beef broth, say that 10 times fast, a little bit of honey, some chili powder, some onion powder, and some garlic salt. Obviously the seasonings are to your liking, so pick what you like. Now that both pork tenderloins are in here, I did put a little bit of beef broth in just to coat the bottom like I do with just about everything. In case this isn't obvious, I am doubling the recipe. Because pork tenderloins, once they cook, they just kind of shrivel up a little bit. And so they don't go quite as far with us. This is probably one of Tyler's favorite dishes that I make. And again, he's not on WW. But because of that, his serving sizes, it just isn't enough for us to stretch this for several meals. So I am making this for dinner tonight. And then I am cooking another one for myself to have lunches throughout the week. So that is why I am doubling up. Of course, you can just do one single serving. Spices are obviously to taste. I am putting a little bit of chili powder in. The flavor that I got for my pork was smoked apple. It's a sweet flavor, and I just like that chili to have a little kick, but not a lot. And we all know I can't help myself with garlic, so I do sprinkle a little bit of that on. And then I give it a really hefty coat, if I can open it, of onion powder. You can also use the juices once this is done cooking. That is a little aggressive. Once this is done cooking, you can use the juice at the bottom of the pan to make a gravy out of it. I will unfortunately not be doing that, but you totally can. So this is what it's going to look like. We are going to put it in the crock pot, for like 6 hours on low, and we'll just see where it goes. I've never cooked 2 at a time, so it's gonna be a learning experience for all of us. If you know your crock pot really well, this is definitely a dish that you could start in the morning and turn off when you get home. Mine cooks fairly quickly, so 6 hours on low should be just fine. I'm doing this on my lunch break, so that should be just perfect. Even with 2, I think it'll still be fine, but I will keep you guys posted. Just the marinade that it was already in and then the things that I put on top of it smells amazing. I didn't mention, you don't have to use the honey. It's just a flavor that Tyler absolutely loves and highly requests. I believe 2 tablespoons are 2 points, maybe 3. Regardless, all the points will be listed down below once I get a final tally. But yeah, on low for 6 hours and you should be good to go. So this is about 5.5 hours. It looks perfect. It smells perfect. I cut it down the middle just in the thickest parts to make sure that it was completely cooked, and it is. It's the color that it's supposed to be. So you obviously want to cook pork completely through, so just make sure that it's cooked before you eat it. And it smells so good. I will calculate the points and I'll put them down below because I threw away the packet and I have to go dig it out. So the points will be listed down below, but so far, this is looking delish. Alrighty, and it is done. This is exactly how I serve it. I just cut it up into little slices and then have a mashed potato, some mashed potatoes on the side. You know, it probably wouldn't be the worst thing to add a veggie to this plate, but this is what we're doing tonight. I will say this is another awesome dish that you can make if you're going over to a friend's house, your significant other's parents' house or family's house. It just, I don't know, it like tastes impressive. It looks impressive if you were to plate it, but like it's in the crock pot and you did nothing to it. So this is just one of those really great recipes to kind of have in your back pocket that looks really impressive, and it's just couldn't be simpler. Hey y'all, this next crock pot recipe that we are going to be making is probably one of my favorites, and if you can tell by the ingredients, it's probably no shocker. So think of this dish as kind of like a dressed up Frito pie Mexican version. That's like the best way to describe it. So you're just gonna need these few ingredients. You need a little bit of tomato sauce. I'm just using an 8-ounce can. You can use however much you like. I just don't love tomato sauce, but I know that you need it in this, so that's why I'm using the 8-ounce. You'll need some plain Greek yogurt for a topping. Then you're gonna need some chili beans. I just got the Walmart version. You will also need pinto beans, again, Walmart version. A red onion. You can use a yellow onion, but I like red best. But you can see mine's fairly small in comparison, so you don't need a ton of it. You need some 99% lean ground turkey, some lettuce for a topper, taco seasoning mix for a topper. Again, probably no shocker there. And I'm sure you're all shocked to see this. A little bit of Rotel. By a little bit, I mean the whole can, because duh. Oh my God, and the star of the show. Some Fritos, which I have already dug into. It's okay, it's our little secret. So we are going to combine all of this. You need to saute your turkey and your onion together. And then we're going to combine, I can't talk. We're going to combine all of it in a crock pot and let it simmer. I think I'm gonna put it on high for like 3 hours. And it's gonna be great. And it's gonna make like a little chili Frito pie situation. So I'm really excited for this one. Okay, my turkey is just about finished. Once it is done cooking completely, I'm gonna put that taco seasoning in it. But my crock pot has been going now about 5 minutes, so we'll throw this in and it'll be totally fine. But I did want to mention, you can tell that nothing is sticking, and I feel like I have the cheapest nonstick pan of life. And I didn't use any oil, so I feel like sometimes recipes make you feel like you need to add in those tablespoons, and if you're on WW, please don't feel like you have to, because it's just fine without it. I constantly keep the meat moving, but I don't have any problems with it sticking. So I just wanted to mention that. Okay, y'all, excuse my kitchen. It's kind of a disaster. I've been cooking for Thanksgiving. It's Tuesday of Thanksgiving, so things are just a little hectic in here. But I wanted to show you, these are the onions. I got a little distracted doing the dishes. I forgot to put them in the turkey, so I'm gonna go ahead and put them in now just to get them steamed a little bit. You could have just dumped them straight into the crock pot and it would have been fine. This is just a personal preference. But we're gonna toss those in, and then once you don't see any more pink in that turkey, you're gonna throw in your taco seasoning and let that cook down, and then you're gonna toss all of this into your crock pot. See, your point value of your dish will depend heavily on your toppings. So I'm of course going to do Fritos. I'm gonna put some cheddar cheese. I'm gonna sprinkle some lettuce on top and then add a dollop of plain Greek yogurt. You can do 20 of these chips for 3 points. You can do the fat-free cheddar cheese for 0. I did end up finding this one. It took me on a man hunt, but I found it. And then a dollop of that is 0, of course, and obviously lettuce is 0. So whatever you decide to put on it, just keep in mind, you can dress it up or dress it down as much as you want, but that will kind of toy with your points a little bit. So total for me, I believe it's going to be 7 points, but as always, it'll be listed down below. Okay, Tyler's making his concoction, but here is mine all finished. I have to say, this is taking me back to like elementary school, like lunch days, but in the best way possible. So I'm pretty pumped, but it did come out to 7 points total. And this is delish. I'm so excited about this. Hey guys, this next recipe that we are going to be doing is one of my absolute favorites for fall and winter. It's especially great. So I'm filming, today is Friday. It is the day after Thanksgiving. This is a really great light and hearty recipe, especially if you just lived through the holidays. So if you have a holiday coming up that you'll be celebrating, this is a really great one to just kind of get yourself back on track. But it tastes delicious, so it doesn't really feel like you're, you know, starting over. So this is just a really great dish that I love. So I thought I would make it for y'all with this video. So I have gone ahead and chopped everything up. I thought I'd save you the excitement of chopping vegetables. So first we have 1 entire butternut squash. I did chop this up by hand. I would highly recommend, if your grocery store sells them pre-cut. I know it's an insane extra, what's the word? Like, it's just frivolous to buy them like this, but you know, I highly recommend it. I had to do the work and it takes forever. So, a whole butternut squash. Then we have 2 sweet potatoes. I leave my skins on, but that's just a personal preference, so you do whatever you want. Then I have 2 apples, and then 1 really large onion. I, of course, use purple. You can use whatever kind of flavor you prefer, but we are just going to dump all of this in to our crock pot. Probably just 2 cups of vegetable stock. We'll see how much liquid this makes. Why is pouring anything so messy? I mean, really. Okay. 2 cups. And then we are going to use 1 cup of, I think it's fat-free. No, but it is light coconut unsweetened milk. I love this for the flavor and the creaminess that it gives. I've never done it with anything but this, so this is what I recommend you use. If you know a substitute, then obviously you can do that, but this is what I have always used. Okay, now we're just going to put some salt and pepper. A little bit of salt. And then you are going to need about 2 tablespoons of ground cinnamon. I'm just gonna eyeball it. That's perfect. And then you are gonna need about a half a tablespoon of ground nutmeg. Just a little sprinkle will do. And then I'm sure you're all shocked by this addition. Just a good little dollop. Okay. And I'm gonna try to kind of toss all of this up. Look at how delicious that looks. We are gonna put this on the crock pot for low for about 6 to 8 hours. You could put it on high, but for soups and things like this, it truly could just be all in my head, but I just prefer to do them low and slow. So I'm gonna do this, like I said, on low for about 6 to 8 hours. You really just want all of your vegetables to kind of just be completely mushy, because you are eventually going to blend it all up to get the soup consistency. So you want your vegetables to be completely cooked through, not crunchy, not hard in any spots. So let's get this on the crock pot, and then we will see you when we are blending it all up. Okay, we are done. The soup has been cooking about 6 hours on low in the crock pot. You can tell that all of the stuff is super mushy. So it's really going to be super easy to blend up, which is exactly what you want. And if you were anything like me and you bought an immersion blender for one recipe, this is your time to break this bad boy out and use it again. So if you don't have an immersion blender, you can definitely just do, you can put it in a blender. But if you are blending with an immersion blender on your crock pot, you want to cover it somehow. With like a dishcloth that you're okay to lose if you have to, but we are just going to turn it on low and blend it up until it is nice and smooth. Okay, so we are done. That took less than a minute. And it is the exact consistency that you want. If you want your soup a little chunkier, I mean, it's just a personal preference. You do whatever you want to do. I wanted mine like kind of silky smooth. You can see that there's still little bits and pieces in there, and that's exactly what I want. So now that this is done, I'm just going to turn it off, but leave the lid on so everything can kind of like, I don't know, become friendly again. And then we're gonna cook up some bacon to top it with, and then we are done. You guys, not to toot my own horn, but this is easily the best version of this soup that I have ever made, and I am so excited about it. So if you just make the soup, it comes out to 10 1.5 cup servings, and then they are 1 point each. No, yes, they are 1 point each per serving. But if you top it with bacon, which I highly recommend because I like a little crunch in my soup, and it does add a little savoriness to it. You can have 2 pieces of center cut bacon for 2 points, and I mean 3 points for dinner. Like, I'm good with that. So I am so excited about this. I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I do. It is just such a perfect dish, especially coming off of the holidays, just kind of a reset, and it's just delicious. So I hope you guys enjoy. Hey y'all, so this next recipe is Carolina shredded chicken barbecue, and we are going to be making some sandwiches out of this chicken once it finishes cooking. So let's get all of our ingredients going. I will say I really appreciate this recipe that I'm following. I will link it down below. All of it is like the same measurements for everything. So everything is like a fourth, and everything is, well, almost everything is about a tablespoon. So I appreciate it when it's like that, because then you don't have to get a ton of ingredients. I will say a fourth a cup of mustard is basically your whole thing of mustard. So we're gonna dump that right in. The next thing we are going to do is a fourth a cup of apple cider vinegar. Pretty much everything in this recipe is something that I had in my kitchen, but apple cider vinegar is not one of them. So this is something that I had to buy. Okay, got that in there. The next is 1/4 cup Worcestershire sauce. Next, we are going to use some buffalo wings, Sweet Baby Ray sauce, a fourth a cup. Okay, thought it had a little stopper, so we're gonna do a little less than a fourth a cup. That's just about typical. Okay, well, thank God we're done with this. So we're gonna just put that to the side. All your wet ingredients are in there. I will say it. The smell is pretty strong, people. Okay, ground pepper. And then, where is my ground mustard? This is another thing that I didn't have. I just picked up this ground mustard from Walmart. I want to say it was like $2 maybe. So this just needs 1 tablespoon. So help me if this lid comes off with it. Okay, well. Okay, we're just gonna keep shaking. Oh my goodness. Okay, it would have been worth it to take this off. Okay, gonna give it just a little dab. A dab will do ya. Okay. And then lastly, a tablespoon of onion powder. Which, this is a flavor Tyler and I love, so if there's a little more, I'm not gonna be upset. Whew. Okay, we have all of our ingredients. I think I'm gonna put, it's just crazy to me how smoky that gets. I am gonna put just a little bit of Himalayan pink salt in there. But that's it, you guys. It is so simple. So this is gonna go on the crock pot now. About, I wanna say, 3, maybe 4 hours on low. It's not a ton of chicken breast. So we're gonna put this on the crock pot, shred it all up. Then I'm gonna show you how to make the coleslaw that goes on top of these shredded sandwiches. So hold tight for that. The next portion of this shredded chicken barbecue situation is the dressing coleslaw that goes on top. So the recipe does call for a 12-ounce bag. I could not find that. I could only find a 16-ounce, so we're just going to make a lot of coleslaw, and it's just gonna be great. So the recipe calls for a half a cup of plain fat-free Greek yogurt. I'm just gonna use one of these little doodahs. So I've actually started to get like the single serving sizes of them, because I'm sure, well, I'm not sure it is. It is more cost effective to do the like Big Daddy version of it. But honestly, y'all, I like was finding that I was just wasting so much of it. I wasn't going through it quick enough and it was spoiling. And so I've just started to get these little servings and then it's perfect. So you need a half a cup if you're gonna do the 12 ounces. I just threw the whole thing in there and it's gonna be fine. Now you need 2 tablespoons of white wine vinegar. This was another thing that I did not have on hand, so that was something that I needed to buy, but pretty much everything else besides the vinegars, oh holy cow, come on, are things that I had in my pantry and didn't really have to buy. I hope you have a lot of patience in getting this out. And next thing, it does call for a teaspoon of like stevia, geez Louise, stevia. So, I don't know, you guys. I bought this brown sugar one, and I apologize, the light is so bad. It's getting so dark so early here. So I bought this brown sugar one. I think I'm just going to add like a dollop. I don't really need super sweet things. So I'm just gonna use a pinch. I also did forget to put that in the chicken, so you'll see a clip where I put that back in because whoopsie daisies. But then you need some ground black pepper and that lovely ground mustard situation all over again. You can imagine that I'm pumped to do that. And some paprika, which I don't think there is such a thing as too much paprika, so that was just pink Himalayan salt. It does call for 1 teaspoon. We're gonna use more than that because I really like paprika and I love the flavor. So we're gonna get a good amount in there. And then lastly, we're going to add a pinch. Also, paprika, if you are super familiar with it, it has like flavor hot to it without the heat, if that makes sense. So for those of you who have been following along for a while, you know that Tyler can't do anything that's like spicy, but he can do like Cajun food. Paprika is kind of like that in the sense that like it just doesn't get like fire hot. So I love using it for things like that. So of course, we're just going to toss all of this up, make sure everything is coated really equally. Put it in the fridge. The recipe that I'm following does say to put it in the fridge for at least 30 minutes. I have the time now, so I'm just gonna go ahead. I just put that chicken on the crock pot, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the fridge for the length of time that it takes the chicken to cook, because I feel like, I don't know, I mean, the longer the better, right? You guys, I forgot to mention something very important. You need some brown sugar stevia situation, so it's 1/4 cup. You guys, how impressive does this little barbecue sandwich look? And it's so cute. So I did 1/2 cup of, we have a visitor. I did 1/2 cup of the chicken. I did 1/4 cup of the coleslaw, a couple sprays of spray butter, and then a whole wheat bun. And I will put all of the points down below as well. So that is it, you guys. Those are my 5 favorite winter crock pot recipes. If you're from my channel, please pop over to Tara and Lauren's. You will not be disappointed. If nothing else, it is 15 crock pot meals that are all WW friendly. You will not want to miss that. I hope you guys enjoy. If you do make any of these recipes, don't forget to tag me on Instagram so I can see your spin on them. And we will see you guys next time. Bye.